they said that I had PCOS, that's polycystic ovarian syndrome. They also said that his morphology,
my sperm, you can say it when my sperm morphology was not off. Right, was off.
They said my ovarian reserve was too high. Then I prayed for healing. Then my ovarian reserve came to the normal place that it should be. Then the doctors were worried that
because
it
moved
happened too quickly,
too fast.
They were not like, maybe you are losing all your eggs. Let's remove them. Maybe you're going into early menopause. Then at that point, we're just like, I'm not doing it again. Because after the third time, we just stopped where we were, and I was just like, I'm not taking one single pill. I'm not taking one single injection. I'm not doing anything anymore. I am done.
And we got to that place and we had that conversation. Yeah. And we said, listen,
not doing anything.
Baby, we're not going.
I'm happy. If God gives me a child, praise Jesus. If he doesn't, there must be something else that he's planning. I am not doing anything anymore.
And that's an important point, because as all of this was going on, that picture that I showed you, I looked at it and I said, I don't feel like this is God's plan. You know, sometimes you've already made your plan and then you're asking God,
so many pregnancy tests and you've gotten so many negatives, you know exactly what a negative looks like. So there's the test line and the control line. And the test line comes before the control line. And once the P is moving across the stick and goes past the test line and you don't see nothing in a little bit, you know that it's negative. So here I was watching this stick and the P was moving across and it moved past the test line and the line was so strong. Like, without a doubt, I was going to start rejoicing. Then I said, let me wait. That's how the control line will not come. It means the test is invalid. Then it goes across and the control line comes up and the test line is stronger than the control line. And I remember just staring at the stick for a couple of seconds, but not like in shock per se, but just like, this God. And I just sat down. I was still on the toilet seat and I said, Olubankole, Jesus has done it.
Start this video like 10 times, no jokes. So yeah, this is me starting fine now. So yes, on this channel I film about faith, lifestyle, productivity and relationship, and today I'll be doing a reaction video to something related to faith and relationship as well. Yes, my favorite in the movie industry, Banky Wellington and Adesua, told me had a testimony session during their Easter service in their church on Sunday. And between Sunday and today, I don't want to go out. Today is Thursday, and between Sunday and Thursday, I've had different reactions to that video. I've had different comments on that video. Those are thanking God for what God has done in them, and those that are like, what have you even gone through? You know, just 2.5 years, blah blah blah. Thank you, accurate timekeepers, counter of the realm. Well, I actually had to sit down and watch the video. Just beyond what people were saying, I had to sit down. The video was like an hour-long video. I sat down to watch through the video, and I felt the need to do a reaction video to it. And that's because I would like to share what I got from my own perspective. Yes. So yes, number one thing that I understood was that people's method of going through things are different. People's reaction to things are different. You cannot react to things with the way other people react to things. Trust me, you cannot. So yes, they had to wait for 2.5 years before Zaya came into being. Some other persons had to wait 20 years, 10 years, 30 years, 15 years before a child came into the picture. Yes, those people are strong. The one that waited 1 year, 2.5 years to is strong. People, especially in Nigeria, have a way of making you feel like, oh, you've never gone through half of what other people are going through. So why are you shouting? Why are you feeling like the world is collapsing? Can't that you never gone through anything? Or can't that you have money? So why are you complaining? Like, I have learned at this point that you cannot tell people that you understand how they are feeling or what they are going through. You cannot tell people that, oh, I understand your pain. You don't understand their pain. Allow people talk. Allow people grieve. Allow people like go through stuff. Like, don't make them feel like they don't have a legit reason for the way they are feeling. And people's reaction to things are different. Trust me, they waited 2.5 years, and in these 2.5 years, they felt like they've gone through a lot. Doesn't mean that those that I've waited 20 years or 15 years, I've not waited or I've not gone through a lot. But in their own space, in this context, the 2.5 years was a waiting period. So I understood that was one thing I took out from that, that allow people go through stuff. Don't belittle people's feelings or make them feel like what they are going through is not worth it, or that you are the only one that is going through anything more than every other person. No. Number two thing I learned or I have taken home from that, and I've always understood this actually, but it rang a bell again as I watched the video, was that God never shows up late. Guys, my pastor always tells us this in church, like countless of time. Pastor always tells us that God never comes late. He never shows up late. The time he actually shows up, the time you actually feel like you're getting response to that which is actually the perfect time. So you've been asking God for this, you'll be asking him for that, and they always say that you get what you want, you lay a demand on it, you get it, God has released it. The, that timing is the perfect time. My pastor would always say that you cannot stop speaking. Speak all that you want into existence. And even as you are speaking, so that doesn't mean that you just sit down and fold your hands. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying speak, have complete faith in God, and also just move about your daily activities. Do all that you can. Like for example, you want to get a job in a particular field. You pray about it, you declare words, because see, God is an absolute connection and nobody can even underrate at all. But then you also get skilled up in that particular field that you want to get a job in, or get connections in. Like just get skilled up, get prayed up, stay skilled up, so that when the opportunity comes, it doesn't leave you unprepared and make you understand. So seeing all that they had to go through, the IVF, the embryo dying, and all of that, it was more like, okay, they've done their human ability, done their human method of how to do it. But then the fact that God now told them, God had shown them, like, okay, just wait. The pastor will confirm it and told them to wait 6 months. Like for different people, there are different instructions, but for every instruction you obey, is actually a reward that comes with it. And you have to look out for the instructions God is giving you part time. God actually speaks. Like God always speaks to you. God is speaking to you. You just have to find out how He speaks to you and stay in tune. And if you don't obey a particular instruction, there is no way you can know what the next instruction is or to obey it. So for every instruction you obey leads you to another step, to another step, to another step. So like the fact that God, they stayed in tune with what God was telling them to do part time. They stayed prayed up, they worshipped, they saw visions of these gifts that was going to come to them, and eventually happened. Didn't mean that they didn't still go through rough times. Didn't mean that all that people were saying to Adesha was not getting to her. Like she said in the testimony, every single day people throw that, people stressed out, people said bad comments that'll make you feel like, am I gonna give her a child? People said things to her every single day, even as she was having faith in God, even as she was working out practices and all of that. People still said things like that to her. She still cried, she still occasions, but it still didn't change the fact that what God has said still stands. So as it just brought to remembrance all that have been said about me, and I realized that there's sometimes I'm just like, God, and He's not that said this thing, because in recent times, to be honest, I could relate, because in recent times there are things that happened, and I'm wondering, because what God said was going to happen to me, all that God had said about me, the prophecies, the visions, and the dreams upon my life are not balancing, not looking like what is actually happening right now. And sometimes I'm just wondering, Abi, God is not a liar, so I cannot even say Abi is God a liar, but it's more like, so what am I actually doing wrong? But with the testimony I just listened to, it just birthed in me a reawakening, a more consciousness and commitment that I'm trusting God totally, I'm trusting God fully, I'm getting skilled up, I'm going out of my way to get connected with people, to get connected with places and stuff. But it doesn't change the fact that I do not doubt one bit all that God has said in my life. And it doesn't, like Banky said, that faith in God does not mean that you will not hurt, or that you will not like feel pain sometimes. But the faith in God is like, to rephrase what he said, is like a reassurance, is that no matter all that you go through, you have that boost that nothing shake, nothing move me. And I remember somebody, one of my friends in my church, said one time that life doesn't get easier, they actually get tougher. So even as They are stepping out of one rising up. Doesn't mean that because you're a child of God, everything will just align. Yes, everything would align, but it doesn't mean that everything will just go smoothly. We are in this world, but what we know is that because we are God's own, because we have complete faith in God, and we have the word, we speak forth the word, and no matter what happens, we actually overcome them. No matter what happens, like things will come, troubles will come, persecutions will come, stress, like somebody would say, problems don't dey finish for this life. But you've been given the strength, the ability, the faith to actually overcome them. And at any point that you feel like God is not showing up, it's a lie. God is showing up. God is the one with you in that situation. And when the miracle happens, it actually happens in a mind-blowing way that you cannot even give anybody credit but God. Like, I'm so grateful that I watched this testimony from Banky W and Adesua, because people feel like the rich don't cry, or don't go through stuff. But just, and another thing that became more conscious, or that registered more in me, is that even through these 2.5 years, they're acting movie, they're releasing songs, they're going about their daily life. They went to church, they stayed in service to God. It just like gave another awakening in me that okay, every single person is going through something, is having one issue or the other, but it doesn't mean that you write it on your forehead and look like the whole world is collapsing. Now I'm talking to myself, because it doesn't mean that you act like the whole world is collapsing. Rather, you stay focused, you do all that you have to do, you stay in service to God, you stay in the place of worship, you stay in the place of service. It doesn't, like, you cannot say that okay, when I finish going through this stuff I'm going through, I'll serve God, because even as you're finishing a particular one, something else is going to happen that will make you go down. But when you determine that I will never have a bad day, I will never go through stuff, nothing I'm going through would affect the way I serve in my church, nothing I'm going through would affect the way I reach out to my friends or stay in the place of love with my family members, or would affect my mood. That just adds a way of skyrocketing the way you behave, to be honest. People will just looking at you like, this one, she's never in a bad mood. This one, she's never going to stuff. But meanwhile, you know that there's no money on ground. You know that there's no money on ground. You know that it's not the scheme for you. You know that, in fact, because you don't get money, some people don't direct you. But then it doesn't change the way you appear. You look healthy. You appear joyful. In fact, even with the fact that there's no money on ground, you're still giving to other people. You're still being a blessing to people. You're still being a source of encouragement to people that are not even going through half as much as they're going through stuff. Like, basically, my pastor has said all of these things that Adesua and Banky W share. They have said them in preaching, and because I always learn things from, because I feel like my pastor is God's servant. So every single thing my pastor says is like the things I need to hear per time. But then it's different when you are seeing someone that you look up to, like your absolute favorites, coming out to come and share what they went through. And I respect them more, because it's not even about the 10 years or the 20 years. They're telling you as it is that, okay, in these 2.5 years, it actually felt like this to us. And yes, there was times where we went ahead of God, or we were too fast, or we tried to correct things ourselves. But last, it was still God that helped us. And we don't even joke with this privilege, don't even joke with this. Like, I just felt like, so if you didn't watch the 59 minutes video, I am here. I've finished summarizing all that the video was about. So it was kind of emotional. Like, there are points where Adesha and BankyW were almost crying. In fact, they shed a little bit of tears. And I'm just like, God is just wonderful, because imagine you feeling like God knows how much I want this thing so badly. God knows that in this life I want to just relax and be taken care of. God knows that in this life I want to just be able to travel the world, be able to afford even the most basic things. Or in this life, God knows that this is what I want, and God knows how much you want it. And then you're feeling like, so how come God knows all of these things and is not making them come true for me? It's not like He's not making them come true for you. In fact, He has made them come true for you already. It's just the timing. It's just the perfect time. It's just for you to lay hold of it. See that thing that He has given to you and take it. Because the answer of the prayers is not actually with God. God has answered every single thing you want. It's for you to see it, like lay hold of it completely and totally, and pick it. And there are times that you feel like what you're praying for is not coming through. Do not resist, do not relent, keep declaring words of faith, keep seeing those things that you want to see. Keep speaking words, keep speaking words. Your words of faith to create realities for you. All that you want to see, as you keep speaking, as you keep walking in that direction, it's not have no choice but to actually come to you. I'm not being a pastor today. I just felt like I needed to be outspoken about this, that every single person is going through stuff. Even you are going through stuff. Even me, I'm going through stuff. And funny thing is that by the time you list out all the things that you're going through, it might not be as much as what somebody else is going through. Yes, but that is what you're going through. That is how you are feeling. And it counts. Your feelings count. The way you feel about something is important. Nobody has the right to make you feel like you are very petty or you're very childish for feeling the way you feel. Your feeling matters, and it's as little as where your feelings are at that particular point can affect your output to other things. If you're not feeling a good space, it will affect it. If you allow it, it will affect your commitment to academics, to career, to work, to family, to friends, even to the service of God. So just learn to have good support system. Tell people what you feel. Tell people how you think they can help you. Let people know what is even your love language self. When Adesha mentioned love language, I was just like, God, a lot of persons don't actually know their love language. Let people know. People might see you being in a sad state, and they're trying their best. They're sending you money. They're sending you gifts because that is what they feel like would help you out. But meanwhile, you just want someone to just sit down and listen to you uninterrupted. Sometimes, money is like the genesis of all the problems we are having. Sometimes, but then sometimes too, you just want someone to just sit down and listen to the nonsense you are talking about. Like, you just need someone to just sit down and listen to you say everything. And funny enough, as you finish explaining all that you are feeling, you sometimes get to realize that there's actually nothing. It's not actually nothing in what you are feeling, not like it's nothing, but as you explain, as you outline all the things that you're having problems with, you realize that they're not even much, or there are things that money will solve, or there are things that if you ask for somebody's help, it will be solved. But because everything is just getting choked up in us, you're carrying the weight of everything, it's not looking like your world is falling apart, like you're going to lose it, like you're not loved, like people don't care for you, like everybody's comments now begins to get to you, which is not. So if you need someone to talk to you, reach out to someone. If you have people around you, tell them how you want them to show you that they love you and are there for you. If it's money, tell them. If it's for them to help you out with things, help you do stuff, let them know as well. Don't just expect that people around you will know how to help you out, because some of them don't know. They're trying their best, or they're even trying, they're showing you in the way they would have felt loved, and then it's not getting to you as much. Also, do not take out the way you're feeling on people around you. They're also going through stuff, like I said already. So don't make it look like, don't make you feel like they're at fault, or they're being blind, or they're being inconsiderate. And you too, don't ever make that mistake of making people feel like their problems are not worth it. Sometimes the problems are not that big, but you don't have to say to them like, why are you doing like as you don't have God? Why are you doing like, don't make them feel like their feelings don't count. Just, even if it's not to give them any comment, just be there, listen to everything. Even if it means telling them to outline all that they think they are going through, all that they think they have problems with, you end up realizing that at the end of the day, those things are not even problems, they're just walkovers. But do not be the one to make them feel very stupid. And just be nice. Like every day, just be nice to people. People are going through stuff. Mind your comments on social media, even friends that you know. Don't just sometimes you feel very close to someone and you feel like you have the right to give them that comment out of a place of love. But be sensitive about the time you are saying it, and the manner in which you are saying it. Already judging themselves, they're already belittling themselves, feeling like they don't have self-worth. So if that comes to and tell them, why are you looking so skinny? Why are you looking so sick? Why are you have you not been eating? Are you going through life? Wow. It's not only you that things are happening to. Why are you looking like the world is, they already know they're looking slim. They already know that they're looking too fat. They already know that they need to eat the gym. You don't have to come and re-emphasize it and say it in such derogating manner. It's not nice. Please just, even like for everybody that you meet, for every friend and family, just rub off niceness. And if you need people to be nice to you, to tell them, guy, that thing you said, it got to me. Don't drag people for not being in relationships. Don't drag people for not being married, for not keeping their marriage. Don't drag people for not having children. Don't drag people for having issues academically. Don't drag people for not having money. It's not their fault. Like they're trying their best. They even feel bad already about it. So don't come and make it look too. Before my video will get to 59 minutes, I'm not banking W, but I felt inspired by their testimony, and I felt inspired to do this video, and feel like I learned some things that I've not shared here that I'm taking home with me, my personal reflection. And in all, like I always say, live, laugh, and love. I've not been doing these things on recess, but right now I'm geared up. I'm geared up. I'm geared up. I'm geared up. I don't understand. I'm not ashamed. So yes, I come away next time. Remember to live, laugh, and love. And remember I can tell you. I love you guys. Bye. And yes, guys, you are such a because I'm really trying to get up, trying to wonder which camera to use. I was looking short, I was looking this, I was looking that. At some point, I said, no, please let me use front camera and DS. God do not shame us. It's video I want to do, I not keep person.